Hello from your Closet Quilter. This video is for my Cutie Quilters friends on Facebook. I'm going to be starting a little series I like to call Beginning on Your Cutie Frame. It's going to be 2 or 3 videos of just beginners, things that people have asked me about over the year. And people are curious about new Cutie quilters. The Cutie is a frame by the Grace Company. It's a tabletop hoop frame that allows domestic quilters, people that quilt on a domestic machine, their home machines, high-speed straight stitch domestic machines like the Brother 1500S and 1500SL. There's several. There's Cutie. There's all kinds of the JANOME has one. It's there are a lot of machines that you can put on the Cutie frame. Now with each machine, there are considerations. One of the first considerations that came up was the foot pedal. Now, as you can see, the Cutie frame is pretty high. I mean, to be ergonomic, to be honest, ergonomically speaking, the foot pedal has a long way to go. I'm 5'3", and it's got a long way to go. So it's coming down far, and quite honestly, when you're moving on a frame like this, having one foot out under the under the table and trying to lean over, it just doesn't work. So Grace Company has a solution for that. A couple solutions, I might add. One of which I have on my machine. It's called the speed controller, and it fits right on the handles. Either the G2 handles that are up above, or the original Cutie handles that are below. This is by Grace Company. It's called the speed controller. It has a dial, obviously, for speed, and it's got a pulse button and an on and off button. I use the pulse button for control because it's a toggle switch. When I push down, it's on. When I lift up, it's off. And I have complete control, and it doesn't create any nests. If I just left the on button on, it takes me a couple seconds to get there and stop and start, and it just leaves little nests. So it works. The consideration for your machine is the plug, the cord. Does it fit your machine? These are all good questions. And my suggestion would be to call the Grace Company and tell them what machine you are planning on using for the Cutie frame. And they will tell you if they have a cord. And if not, you can do research and find a cord maybe. I don't know. But there are many cords and many options. That's just one consideration. They also have the stitch regulator. The Sure stitch regulator. I don't have that. It's quite expensive, but if you can afford it, it's definitely worth it. It really makes it nice. It's like having one of those big machines. It's the stitch regulator makes it so when you move, it stitches. You don't have to turn it on and off. It goes on. It's really consistent stitches, which really makes it nice. I'll back up a little bit. One of the considerations you want to consider is your throat space on your machine. Okay, that is important. You won't be happy with a very small throat. The larger the throat, the happier you'll be. Mine is a Brother. I have a Novell Brother 1500S, which is basically the same machine as the 1500SL. It's a high-speed straight stitch machine made by Brother, and it's got but at the end of the day, after it's on the Cutie frame and the bar, there's a bar in the back, of the Cutie frame, the way it works. There's a bar in the back, and the throat space that I end up with, the vertical sewing space that I actually have, is 5 inches, and it's a nice amount. But there are machines that provide larger amounts, such as the Jazz 2. A lot of people really love that, and of course the Unique series. God, I went to a quilt week with a friend of mine, Lucy Ricardo, um, and we got to play on the Cutie 15R Pro on the Cutie frame, and it was heaven. Just having that much space is just a dream come true. Again, that's out of my budget at this time. But it's lovely. If you can afford it, definitely go for it. And there are just a lot of machines out there. There's many high-speed straight stitch machines with large throats um, that are domestic. They're considered domestic, and they work great. I will say one more consideration on all domestic machines. If you have multiple needle positions available on your machine, uh, and this is coming from several people. Bonnie, which of one? She's also an engineer, and she mentioned that people were having trouble with their warranties, and someone else told me the same thing. If you have a machine with multiple needle positions, and it's a domestic sewing machine, okay, that you're putting on the quilt on the Cutie frame. You're quilting on free motion quilting on the Cutie frame with a sewing machine, a high-end sewing machine. Say you paid $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for your sewing machine, and it has multiple stitch positions, multiple needle positions. You want to check with your manufacturer to make sure that your warranty won't be uh, taken off for any damage done with moving around like this. The pressure that this causes is called torque, because we're moving all different angles. And that torque can really mess up the needle housing on a machine that has multiple needle positions. And it can cost a lot of money to repair. And I know you already paid a lot of money for your machine, so that's something to consider. Ask your manufacturer about the warranty if you're free motion quilting on a frame, okay, with that machine. That's something you always want to check out, because it all comes down to your personal machine, okay? That's all. I personally, my setup is I have a G2 top carriage, which is the over-the-top handles. I have a brother, as I said before, Novell 1500S. I have the Grace Speed controller. I have the JANOME convertible free motion foot with the frame set, which is the, I'll talk about that later, because it comes with a ruler foot and an open toe foot. And the actual JANOME set the convertible foot is for the 1600P for my particular machine. This is a high shank special machine, and it uses the 1600P JANOME free motion foot, convertible foot. That's right. And then, in addition to that, I bought the frame set, which is oriented for machines that are on a frame, which means it's not at this side, it's actually facing me, so the feet will face me, so that when I'm on the frame I can see what I'm doing. A lot of information I'm giving you right now, but that's what these videos are all about. I want you all to be able to get your questions answered, because I've gotten a lot of questions, so I decided to make these videos. So I hope this helps you. My next video will be loading the Cutie, dealing with those issues, tension, and I I think I'll talk about free motion quilting and ruler work on that one. Uh, oh, one more thing I forgot to mention. My newest acquisition, I got the Cutie channel locks, which work wonderful. Now, for my machine, again, for my machine, because I have the top carriage, the wheels on this G2 top carriage are different than the original carriage. They're bigger. They are, so I had to use, let me back up. The channel locks come with 3 channel locks. 2 normal channel locks and 1 back one for the bigger wheels that are on the top carriage, and that also goes with the unique uh, machines, which don't require a carriage. So that's the one we use for the G2. I hope that's clear. What I'm trying to say is, if you have a G2 top carriage, you're going to use that special channel lock that comes with the channel locks for the bigger wheels. Okay, because these wheels are bigger than the standard Cutie top carriage wheels. Okay, I think my next video will talk a lot about loading the Cutie, and it will have I'll talk about the ruler base and the needles and the ruler feet, some special things. I hope you like this video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe and do all that good stuff. I'm the Closet Quilter, and thanks for watching. Have a great quilting day.